Hello, YouTube. Many of you are aware and very familiar with my Mesa Boogie Electradyne head and the Marshall cab that I run it through. Done quite a few videos expressing a lot of the tones that are coming through it. And recently, since moving to this new house and where I've got everything else set up over here, I've been ABYing it with other amps, kind of getting dual amp tones. And the Pro Sonic that I typically play with is a 5881 based, basically 6L6 head, much like the Mesa. And in moving through a lot of different tones that I was playing around with, I decided that I wanted to make a couple changes. So I decided to swap out some tubes, which will be coming in very soon. And basically, I'm going to go over to the schematic now and show you kind of what I'm going to be doing here. So right here is the layout of the Electradyne head and the tubes that are involved in there. Here's a little piece that shows you what goes to what. So effectively, all of the preamp section and the phase inverter tube are all 12AX7s. A couple things I wanted to try to do with the head is I'd like to have the clean channel, which is in position 4. I'd love to have that be have a little bit more headroom. It's a pretty clippy the way that I have it combined with the drive sections, and being a shared EQ amp, there's not much you can do that way, especially with the volumes that's shared as well. So I'm going to be swapping this out for a 12AU7. Then in positions 6 and 7, I'm going to be swapping those for 12AT7s instead of 12AX7s. Reason being, they're supposed to give a little bit more tonal range and clarity in the phase inverter and reverb sections because they can handle a lot more power than a 12AX7. And finally, the main piece that's going to be changing are these output tubes. Amp ships with 6L6s. It sounded great. It still does sound great, but to get a little bit more definition between other amp sounds that I'm trying to combine with it, I'd like to complement what this amp was made for. This is their Marshall style amp, and historically, classic Marshall tones came from EL34s. Fortunately, if we find on the back of the amp, there is a switch that allows you to switch from 6L6 to EL34 mode. Basically, right here. Very blurry, iPhone, dim lighting. Anyway, it self-biases the amp for you. It'll allow me to swap those out. I've got matching sets of EL34s, Mullards, reissues that'll be put into here. These two 12AT7s are from Mesa themselves, and the AU7 is a JJ's Gold, one of the highest rated ones out there. And finally, I forgot to mention this, I'm swapping out for a higher value 12AX7 from Mesa Boogie into the vintage high section gain stage, because I wanted to get a little bit more separation in tone between the vintage low and the vintage high. Simply because right now, the way that I have them running, they're kind of in a gray area where they kind of sound too much alike. And I'd like to have a little bit more definition between them all. So really, all power tubes and 4 preamp tubes to get less clipping in the clean, EL34 bass tones, a little bit more clarity through the power section, and hopefully a little bit more higher gain out of that vintage high. So I'm going to do a video, 2 of them, one pre-adjustments and one after new tubes are installed, playing the same licks with the same guitars through the same settings, just with the different tubes put in there. And then obviously as I tweak and find the sweet spots with the new tubes, I'll update you there too. So exciting stuff. Once I get that all dialed in, I'll do some tone examples of combining some of the different amps, but should be fun. All right, guys, thanks for watching.